Hello, in this session we are talking about microprocessors. In front of me I have different types of microprocessors, and I'm going to talk about how these are important in the field of physical computing. First of all, physical computing is about hardware interacting with software, and that's where microprocessors come into the picture. A microprocessor is something that can be programmed. They come in different shapes and sizes depending on the application that they're going to be put to. Essentially, every microprocessor has a chip of that sort, which is the heart of the microprocessor, and that is what we can program. In other words, that thing there is the thing you write code onto so that it can interact with hardware. Hardware will include things like actuators, sensors, and so forth, which we'll get to at a later stage. At this point, what's important to note is that a microprocessor will be found in every physical computing device or gadget. The microprocessor essentially allows different components, the sensors, the actuators, and other components of a device to interact with each other and to understand what they're supposed to do. You'll see that with the microprocessors I have in front of me, they have different options for inputs, which allow you to connect different devices to them. And as I mentioned before, they'll have a chip on them, which is the heart of the microprocessor, which you can code. Different microprocessors will be coded using different languages. This that I'm holding is called a Raspberry Pi Pico H, and you will typically use Thorny IDE and MicroPython or CircuitPython to write code for this device. This is a LilyPad, which is based on what's called an Arduino Uno to be specific. The IDE that you use to code this and the language that you use is going to be very different from that, but the principles are exactly the same. These bigger boards, you'll notice, have various other things going on. And essentially, when you look at the board, you'll see that it still has that chip there, which is the heart of the microprocessor. When you look at these two boards, you can see something very similar. Why? Because this is the microprocessor, the Raspberry Pi Pico, with its chip there, the RP2040, and then the rest of the board allows you to connect different components to the microprocessor. This is a robotics board or a maker board. We have this, which is more of a computer, but essentially is the same as these other devices here. It does contain a microprocessor, which is that one there, the RP1, which is the Raspberry Pi, and it allows you to connect USB ports and various other things to it. By and large, microprocessors are the important part of robots, drones, and various other physical computing products, and it's important to understand what these are and how they operate in order for you to be able to create a physical computing output. We're going to talk specifically about Raspberry Pi Picos, and in coming videos I will talk about how to set up a Pico and how to write code for a Pico. The principles, like I said, are the same when it comes to other boards. So whether you're using an Arduino, a LilyPad, a Raspberry Pi, the principles will be exactly the same.